We going through the motions. We better than the rest.
This is Joshua Don't Blink Grid Jr., and you're now tuned in to Bite Down Boxing Podcast for some of the best boxing content.
Peace, boxing fans. Thank you for pressing play on another Bite Down Boxing video. This is an extension of the Bite Down Boxing Podcast. I'm the host, Wood. In a second, we'll continue part 2 of the recent interview with Washington, D.C.'s TIARA Brown. Before we get into that, please hit that subscribe button on the Pay Me No Mind YouTube page. And then also, be sure to check out past episodes of the Bite Down Boxing Podcast. You can do that by going to www.leftjaballnightboxing.com. That's leftjaballnightboxing.com. And then go down there and click on the network link. Check out all the fantastic different podcasts that are available on the Team Left Jab Network. Appreciate the support. Now, as we turn back to Miss TIARA Brown, in this clip, we talk about what sets her apart amongst her peers, right there in the super featherweight division. And then she briefly gets into plans for 2019, personal goals that she has laid out for herself. And then she makes a strong statement about what would be disrespectful to women's boxing. I'll let you check it out. We'll get to that on the other side of this short break. Okay, and I have to admit, I was just trying to read some notes and get some thoughts together on you. I feel like right here at super featherweight is tons of action, and maybe we can get into some of that before we get off of here. But it just seems like that might be the sweet spot where the future or the immediate future of the women's game could all take place. Like you said, right here between featherweight and welterweight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I honestly agree with that.
What do you think about your game is gonna stand out between in making you successful and helping you stand out amongst this group?
Well, the thing about me, I love boxing. So I can't even say to you, well, this is my favorite fighter, because I love boxing so much that I pick up things from other people, not just one person, two person people. I can watch a handful of people and I'm going to take something from every last one of them. And I do that. I do that. I've compiled a lot of different great boxers, their styles, their offense, their defense game. I've compiled all that into like one box. I shook it up and just jumped in and I popped out. I think that I had a really good defense and offense game. I don't think that, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but from what everyone else tells me, I don't fight like most of the girls. I fight like it's kind of like swagged out.
I would agree with that. I would completely agree with that. I'm just, like I said, I've watched a couple of clips here and there, but right before we got on, I did sit there and watch the last fight in its entirety, and immediately, like you said, I'm noticing that your responsibility on defense and the head movement and reaction, reflexes and all of that, I don't see that in a lot of females, even a lot of the ones that are being thrown out in front of us right now. I definitely, that was something that jumped off the screen to me. But if a fan does check you out, what do you think will be the one thing or the one or two things that will will stand out to, a fight fan watching you for the first time?
My patience, I believe. My patience and my calmness. I'm like the inside of a hurricane. Like I'm really patient. But when I strike, you're gonna feel it, you're gonna see it, and that's how I don't rush anything. Like if you watch my last fight, I just took my time with her. I already knew all of her weaknesses before the bell even went off because I studied her. You'll have boxers that say, I don't study my opponents. I don't need to study my opponent. That's not true. Yes, you do. You need to study your opponent because you need to know their flaws, their weaknesses. That's it's like NFL football games. You think the teams aren't sitting in the locker rooms for weeks studying the other team's maneuvers? Of course they are.
All right. 3 fights in back-to-back years, 3 in 2017, and then, like you said, this fight with Santana was your third one for 2018. What's your expectations or goals for yourself in 2019?
In 2019, my goal is to have a belt and get my name in the rankings. And I think I'm pretty confident that will happen. I train hard, I eat good, I put God first. I do everything right that I'm supposed to do. And I know that I believe in Lou and that Lou believes in me. So I look forward to 2019 because, like you said, there are a lot of girls that they're throwing out there. And I read comments. There's a lot of girls that are being played on the media that justice. Because some of the girls are coming out fighting like girls. No, we have to show the world that we're boxers. It's not, these are girls fighting like girls, girl cat fights and stuff, and it's unfortunate that some of that is actually being aired on the TV. You have to make the crowd want to see you. You have to show them that when it comes to women's boxing, you should be viewed the same as the men. Now, we're being realistic here. I'm not saying, I want to get paid exactly what the men get. I'm not even saying that. Because to me, it's not even about the money. It's really not. I have another job. I make really good money. It's about the recognition and the respect. I want the same respect and the same recognition that the male athletes get.
Well said. How did the progress of the women's game in 2018 impact your outlook as a professional boxer?
The 2018? Which game?
I'm just saying, just in general, with the progress that we saw in the women's game, more fights being televised, different platforms being used to televise women.
I think that, some people say it's about time, but, everything happens in time. Everything happens when it's supposed to happen. I think it's great. I won't bash any networks for taking so long or for not jumping on board sooner. I just say thank you. It's very appreciated, and I'm excited for 2019 because women's boxing is becoming more of something people want to see on TV, on the web, online, And I just look forward to 2019. I'm really excited. I'm very excited, actually, about 2019. I've been getting stronger. I'm just excited.
Cool. Now, one thing I was going to ask you, but it doesn't necessarily apply to you because when we look at it, you're 7-0 with 5 knockouts. I just had my last guest on the podcast was Melissa Smith. She's the author of A History of Women's Boxing, and we spent some time on the whole 2 minutes versus 3 minutes thing. And some of us, maybe it's low hanging fruit, but I've had a couple of YouTube videos where I've discussed, that I think the 2 minute situation is hindering the knockouts, and that, knockouts is unfortunately something that's going to help with the appeal of women's game. I'm sitting here watching some of Claressa Shields fights, and they get, the commentators get off into this lack of power and they're not being the knockouts and whatnot. But again, like I said, here you are with 5 stoppages in 7 fights. So are you a proponent of of a move 2-3 minutes, or are you okay with the 2?
To me, it doesn't matter. because when I train 3-minute rounds.
Right.
So since we're being completely honest, all that, if it was 3 rounds, I would have knocked her out. I don't believe in that. I don't, because, okay, the bell went off in 2 minutes, and guess what? You had a minute break, and after that break, you came back and fought for 2 more minutes. So if you were going to knock somebody out, it was going to happen. Because after a minute, if you were going to knock them out, after that minute of rest, that's not enough to come back from if you were about to be knocked out. It's just not. It's just not. So if people are saying, well, if we had 3 minutes, I would have surely knocked her out, then, well, you should have did it the next round then.
Well,
I'm just being honest.
Right. But I'm watching your fight with Santana, and we'll get to that here in a little bit more in depth. But I was watching how patient you came out in the opening minutes, and that's what I'm looking at. It's not on the screen on the video that I'm watching, but I'm like, TIARA is moving, is being so patient. How do you pick it up and take full advantage of that 2 minutes to create the situation where that stoppage could happen or anything? But like I said, here you are 7-0 with 5 stoppages, so you seem to be able to make it work for you.
Because you can't look for it. See, the thing about, everyone knows the knockout is the best way. TKO or KO, people want to see. Fans want to see that. Yeah, they want to see skills, but people want to see TKOs and KOs,
Ultimately.
And, ultimately, I mean, and it makes a boxer feel better. Like, yeah, all that hard work I did. I got the TKO, I got the knockout. But I don't go into the fight looking for the knockout. If it comes, I'm so thankful. I just know that I train hard and that if the opportunity arises, I'm going to get it. But a lot of these girls go out looking for the knockout. So they'll come out throwing bombs and, okay, what if that person can eat a punch? You didn't bait them in for, I'm going to bait you in. I like fishing. I'm going to bait you in. I'm going to bait you in a little bit, hit you here, hit you there, go to the body, go up top, go back down to the body, make you weak. So when those rounds, later rounds come up, okay, I'm going in for the kills, time to attack, but I don't just automatically look for the kills.
Got you. Well, let's talk about it then. Talk about the Bowie State fight, like you said, a couple of weeks back. First, for starters, any inspiration on the fight kit? You look good. You look good that night in your colors and whatnot. A little too close to the Dallas Cowboys for me, being that you're in the D.C. area. But any inspiration behind the fight kit?
Well, first I'm going to say, don't think it was a Cowboys theme. It was a police theme.
Oh, okay. I was wrong.
Because I actually have a uniform that says Officer Brown, but I already wore that one. So I wanted to get another one made, but I still wanted to keep the law enforcement theme, so I kept it blue and white.
Okay. Before I talked to you, I was thinking maybe Georgetown University, but now that I know you're not even from the D.C. area, I guess that ruled that out. I didn't even think about law enforcement, but that's even better then. That's even better.
And I haven't been a Cowboys fan since Deion Sanders.
Another Florida guy, huh?
So, that's funny.
So now, so I'm looking into it. I was just looking up on BoxRec before we spoke, and the Santana name stood out to me. I actually was in the building a year and a half ago or so up at Barclays when she fought Amanda Serrano, who's one of the bigger names in the sport. 5 division champion, I think, at this point in time, and training for 6. I see. Or she's 6 right now?
Mm-hmm.
6, yeah. She's going for 7.
She was supposed to fight someone, but they vacated the title instead of fighting.
Correct. You're right. She's going for 7 at this moment. But I saw that, I saw the name, and I remembered, and everything, so I checked it out, and Serrano stopped her in 8 rounds, only took you 4. So, what was your thoughts on this performance? How would you grade yourself?
And I'm not going to lie and say that I didn't think about that, because I did. I thought about, okay, the champ just fought her last year and got her out in 8. So it would be nice to get her out before that. I did have that thought,
So setting that up.
but I didn't look for it.
No, like I said, I thought you were very patient. That was one of the things that jumped out to me immediately. You know, you didn't charge over to her and go into it. You got into your rhythm and seemed like you were gathering information on her and everything. And then, like I said, the defense was beautiful, putting the jab out there nicely and everything. Just a very skillful approach, I thought. But like I said, what were your thoughts on your performance?
I think that performance, I probably got a B, because I should have used the jab more, and I used my jab, but I should have doubled up on my jab. Like I was actually trying to time her or see what she would do, but even with that being said, I still should have doubled the jab up more. And I love throwing combinations. So I probably should have threw more combinations.
Seemed like the major.
That's what I took from it.
Seemed like the major weapon kind of was the left hook to the body and then your uppercut.
Yeah, that's my punch. That left hook.
Left hook. Okay. Was that a little Wakanda Forever salute at the end after the fight was stopped?
Yeah, you saw that.
I told you the little Shuri thing coming in there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I had to salute.
Got you. So how did that feel? I mean, 2 fights in a row at Bowie State, fighting in front of the hometown fans. Ending the year, getting towards the end of the year so you can get into your vacation, I guess, although you said you went back to the gym 5 days later and whatnot. But how did it feel to close off your 2018 on a big win?
It felt great. The chief of police was out watching me fight. Lots of cops actually came out, and it was great. It's always great at the fights because one thing about me, I'm always alert in tune with the community. So even though, like when I'm in my boxing world, I'm still a police officer. So with that being said, I try to mend what is broken. Everyone loves boxing. Everyone loves sports. So to have a arena full of cops mixed up with the arena full of just regular, average type people who may not have really liked the police and they're getting along, everyone's excited and cheering together. I like that.
Wow. Very thoughtful right there. Very thoughtful. Just 2 more questions. I'm going to let you get on with your evening. How does training in the DMV area help you in terms as maturing as a fighter and in between camps and whatnot, and then in preparation during training camp? How does that area serve you? And like I said, in terms of getting better and improving.
Well, I have no family up here. I moved up here for boxing, and it just keeps me focused because I know that I'm up here for a reason. I'm up here to chase my dreams and just get to the top of the mountain and be the best that I can be and be a positive role model. And sometimes you have to leave home to do that. But I know that it keeps me going, knowing that I am my nephews and my nieces. I am their role model. I am like their superstar. And I just want to be the best that I can be for them. So being up here in the DMV, it actually allows me to be a better person for my family back home.
Okay. Actually, there was one more question before I get to the closer. I look into the super featherweight division on on BoxRec and on the world level, and then as well as in the United States. It seems like one of the more deeper divisions in terms of names and everything. So I don't want to really have you. I'm not trying to get you to call out anybody, but I mean, it's a lot of recognizable names right here with and my computer is acting up right now. Where did I lose my screen? But I mean, Melissa St. V is on there. Eva Wallstrom, who we all saw this past weekend. You're in the top 10, 15-ish. Michaela Mayer is a name that I saw on the top of one of the lists I was looking at. do you think, some of these people that, they have to be on a crossroads for you to meet up with some of these women?
Yep, and definitely they are. And I say in due time, which means in lose time. I want to fight everyone, everyone with a belt, and even those without belts. Anyone who is in that top listing who is great, I want to fight.
Yeah, I see.
I want to fight
Simmons.
everyone who has established themselves, everyone who is talked about. I want to fight them. I want to fight everybody and anybody in my weight class. But I'm not going to go saying because I think I'm the GOAT. I wouldn't even disrespect women's boxing like that to say that. I'm just starting as a professional boxer. Now, do I think I'm a good boxer? Yeah, I do. I think I'm a really great boxer, actually. But as far as me to say I'm the GOAT, I haven't done anything yet. And by that, I don't mean, I fought 5 or 6 times and I have 3 belts. No, that's still not doing anything to me yet. I think the reason why Muhammad Ali is the greatest of all times, not because of what he did as a boxer, because everyone knows he was not undefeated. I think the reason why Muhammad Ali is one of the greatest athletes of all time because of what he did outside of the ring. And that says enough.
Definitely. Now, Santana, going back to her, she was on one of the latest rankings I was able to find for the WBC. She was actually the 11th ranked fighter on there. So like you said, with a convincing win against her, I would think that has to help boost up the name and the rankings of yourself. What did you think seeing Wallstrom, who's the WBC champion? I was not impressed with her effort and her game this past weekend against Katie Taylor, who's constantly mentioned as one of the top 2 or 3 women in the game. Did her performance speak anything to you and where and how you might match up moving forward?
I think she's a really good fighter, and sometimes let's see how delicate I can be with this. I think that, for instance, Santana, she's a great fighter. Her record shows that. History shows that,
right.
Actually, that she's a great fighter.
Right.
But sometimes a great fighter against a really, good fighter as well can be seen as like, oh, well, maybe they're not that good. Like Katie Taylor, I love her. I'm like one of her biggest fans. We've spoke and hung out from being on the USA team, traveling to different fights tournaments where she was. I have much respect for her. She's a fellow Christian woman. And sometimes you can fight someone who's just so good that it may make you seem like you're not.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it's definitely no knock against Wallstrom. One night doesn't undo her whole career. She was what she was coming into it. Like you said, I just in expecting to see. We always want to, the game, the women's side is developing in front of us, and I'm sitting here expecting this unified champion versus another champion, and like I said, the fight really just didn't play out like that. But it happens. It happens all the time. On the men's side, it happens.
Upsets.
Right. So let me let you get out of here. My final.
I think she's Finland's greatest boxer. From like things that I've read about her.
Okay. The last question, for those of us that are paying attention, Jarrett Hurd has said a number of times that he wanted to have a homecoming fight in the DMV area early into. Actually, his next fight was what he was hoping for, what he's campaigning for. Would that be a something that you like? And Lou DiBella has the relationship with the PBC and whatnot. Would it mean a lot to you to have a spot on that card?
The one in which one?
Jarrett Hurd is he's been lobbying to get a hometown fight, and if that's in the DMV region, is that something that you would push hard for to be included in the card?
Oh, I would love to fight on one of Hurd's cards. I think that would be great. All the big shots come out. for the Top Dogs fight. I think that would be great. But I'm really hoping. I hear that there's an all women's card in February or March in New York.
I thought I saw something.
And I really, really would like to be on that.
Okay. I thought I saw something about that earlier today. I can't remember what source I saw, whether it was Twitter or something. But yeah, that would be a dope idea too.
I want to fight in New York very bad. Who doesn't want to fight in New York under the bright lights?
Right. I thought I saw you. Did you attend one of the boxing on Broadway or one of DeBella's? He does the streaming on the DeBella Entertainment Facebook page or something. I thought I saw you at one of them or something.
I've been to a few of the fights in New York. My last fight was in New York. I went to watch Heather Hardy fight. I can't remember who she fought, but I really like Heather Hardy.
Okay. Right. Well, look.
It's funny because I'm like fans of people in my own weight class.
Right. And that's a good thing. Well, look, I appreciate your time tonight. One of the more interesting personalities that I've encountered on the show. Didn't mean to make the interview go this long, but like I said, I appreciate.
It's no problem.
I appreciate your professionalism and your focus on your community and whatnot. I'm definitely a new fan. Like I said, just checking out this Santana fight and looking at the level of skill and your approach to fighting was a breath of fresh air. So I definitely want to check you out in the future. And any final words for new fans or current fans and new fans of TIARA Brown?
For all of my current friends, thank you. God bless. I appreciate you very much for your support. You don't know how much it means to me. And for any, new fans, you can follow me on Twitter, TIARA Brown Box, or Instagram. I'm on Instagram often. My Instagram name is tbaby125lbs. Just hit me up, follow me, and I'll follow you back.
Hey, that's great. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time. And like I said, I'm looking forward to you in 2019. And I'm definitely a new fan. And like you said, one thing that's so undervalued in my opinion is, that humbleness, that genuine nature and down to earth, everything. A pleasure to meet you.
Always pleasure's all mine.
All right. Good luck out there. Take care.
Thank you.
And enjoy your holidays.
Okay. I will. Eating that macaroni and cheese.
All right. Enjoy that. Take care.
Bye-bye.